Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to lesson 1.2, page 10 in your Big Ideas book. We're going to continue with one of our most important units. Our first three units are absolutely essential to anything we do after that. Doesn't matter what we do after. Everything after our first three units is going to involve our first three units. Trust me, you'll understand as we go through them. Anyhow, very important unit on integers. Today we're going to apply what we learned to add integers without the use of visual or concrete models. Our essential question, is the sum of two integers positive, negative, or zero, and how can you tell? Now I need to ramble on for just a second here before we move on to our actual notes. Ladies and gentlemen, time to be very serious about this. Our math facts that you spent a lot of time on in elementary are essential to us moving forward. Math facts in math are like sight words in reading. In other words, you need to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide very fluently to help the understanding and comprehension of the math that you're going to be doing so that you know how to do it. Like in reading, your sight words, the, and, it, is, these are words that when you're reading, you don't stop to sound them out. You don't start reading and say, she went to she went to Tehe store. No, you just know that word and you read through it like that and you understand it. It's comprehensible. It doesn't get in the way of your reading and comprehension. Our math facts need to be the same. You need to be able to fluently add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And now you need to be able to do that with our integers. You spent 6+ years adding and subtracting, multiplying, and dividing your whole numbers, all the positive numbers of your integers. And now, in one lesson, in a week, you've got to then say, I got to be able to do all that, adding negatives in there and making them our integers. Yep, it is. Don't worry. Don't get upset or confused or flustered over it because we're going to be doing it in every single unit throughout the year. You're going to get practice. And you're going to be doing it in every unit about every year in all the math you have going forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, practicing, learning how to become individuals of character and intelligence, skills that will carry you through life. You went to the book because that's what you were asked to do, so you did it. You were responsible. And you went to the top of page 10. You read the key idea on adding integers with the same sign. And this is what it said. Add the absolute values of the integers, then use the common signs. You probably wrote that down word for word, just like I copied it from the book. That's okay. I'm going to make it simpler. I'm going to make it simpler because that can be a little confusing to understand right now and be able to apply rather quickly. So I'm going to simplify that to same signs, add and keep the sign. Same sign, add and keep the sign. Hey, please don't write this down yet. When I'm done with this video, when I'm done with this page, I will stop and say, hey, write any of this down that you want to. Don't write any of this down yet. Squeeze it into your notes when you want to when I'm done. So same sign, add, and keep. All right. What do you mean by that? Well, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to think about math this way. From now on, the first thing you're going to do when you look at a math problem is that you're going to look at the operation. Am I adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Look at the operation. Two same signs or different signs? Because there are different rules for the operation and the signs. You got to be able to apply them all rather quickly in the future. It just so happens that in tonight's video notes, the operation is always going to be adding. This first video, we're going to concentrate on the same sign. The second video is different signs. So this video right now, everything we look at is same sign. We're going to add and we're going to keep the sign. So that's the rule for adding when the signs are the same. Add and keep the sign. Same signs, add and keep. Same signs, add and keep. Same signs, add and keep. All right? So I got a couple examples of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to use some models on this one. Different models than on the first two examples we get to. This is, again, it's not in your notes, so don't worry about writing this down, but you can if you want to. 6 plus 9 equals 15. You've been doing that since, well, probably since first grade or kindergarten. We don't want to now go back and say, to do this, I've got to go think absolute value. We don't want to think this because it slows us down. We already know the absolute value of 6 is 6, the absolute value of 9 is 9. I'm going to add them up and get 15. The common sign is positive, so the answer is 15. We know that. We want to start moving away from the absolute value, even though we know it's there. It's there in the back of our head. We know it's there. We have a negative 6 plus a negative 9 equals negative 15. Again, I could sit here and say, hey, the absolute value, I could work through all this math. The absolute value of the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. The absolute value of negative 9 is 9. Now I'm going to add them together and get 15. And I go back and look and the common sign is negative. I can do that. But if I just sit there and say, hey, what is the operation? I'm adding. Are the signs the same or are they different? They're the same. Same sign, add and keep. 6 plus 9 is 15, they're negative. So it's negative 15. 6 plus 9 is 15, they're positive, so it's positive 15. All right? Same sign, add and keep. The model of that, well, I have a negative 6 and a negative 9. And I add all those together. They're all the same sign. I got 15 of them, and they're negatives. Moving along. Let's start looking at, oh wait, my bad. Please stop the video and write down anything that you feel you need to help your understanding and comprehension. But the most important thing, same sign, add and keep. Same sign, add and keep. Copy that down and join me on the next page. So, adding integers with the same sign, ladies and gentlemen. 7 plus 13, that is going to be 20. You already know that. You're pretty quick on that. 7 plus 13 is 20. If I were to model, which I'm not going to do much of, but I'm just showing you on the model, we could go, hey, I'm jumping all the way over here to 7, and then adding always goes to the right. I'm going to add 13 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Adding 13 gives us 20. Okay, bingo. Now we're going to do negative 8 plus a negative 5. Well, you notice that if it's same sign, add and keep, our answer gets more negative. So right here, 8 plus 5, we're adding. 8 plus 5 is 13. The signs are negative, so the answer is negative 13. Pretty straightforward on that. Same sign, add and keep. If I were to model it, this is where the interesting thing comes in. If I go to negative 8 and start right here, well, I'm adding, and adding is always to the right. Well, wait a minute. If it's always to the right, how do I end up with more negative? How does it get more negative? Well, it just so happens that the first number is the starting number. The operation tells you I'm adding it, but then that negative 5 says I'm going to go backwards with that 5. A negative sign changes the direction of what we're doing. Changes the direction. So I would be going 5 this way to get to negative 13, and voila, this is plus a negative 5. So you can put that on there if you want. I didn't ask you to in the last one. Please remember, always after the slide, you stop it, you write it down, and then you continue on watching, looking, listening, and learning. So no more models. No more models. Here we go. Negative 20 plus negative 15. My operation is adding. My signs are the same. Same signs, add and keep. 20 plus 15 is 35. The signs are negative. The answer is negative. Bingo. I'm done. Copy it down. Next one. Example 4. Negative 126 plus a negative 382. I'm adding. The signs are the same. Same sign, add and keep. Same sign, add and keep. When I add these two together, I get 508. And the signs are negative, so my answer is negative. Bingo. Same sign, add and keep. Same sign, add and keep. Ladies and gentlemen, same sign, add and keep. How many times I got to say that? Same sign, add and keep. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, you have 3 quick writes to do. Your first one is to write a complete sentence, and you have two math problems to do, adding integers with the same signs. Get those done. Take a quick break. Get a quick snack. Go to the bathroom. Do what you need to do. Text a friend and tell them how goofy Mr. Ross is. And then join us for the next video. See you in a minute.